Hey everybody, it's Jared with Big Mill Motorsports here. We raced this past Saturday at Brush Creek Motorsports, and it was really kind of a nice, relaxing evening. They just had a regular show, nothing fancy, everything rolled smooth. Um, for a lot of you folks, if you've ever been in the pits at a race, there are some nights when things are just hectic and crazy and you got a lot going on. And other nights when it's really relaxing and kind of a lot more enjoyable. So it was really nice. I didn't have to do a whole lot of work on my car. It was kind of pretty easy going. Everybody was kind of loose, having a good time. So, I had a lot of fun. It was really good. I enjoyed it. So for the night, we went out for qualifying, and I managed to qualify number one in my group, which meant that I started the heat race on the pole, which I was honestly like super stoked about because past several weeks I've been able to make up a lot of spots in the feature, and so I'm thinking, wow, if I can actually start maybe in the top four of the feature, I can either stay there or I can actually, challenge for a top two spot or something like that. So I started the heat race on the pole, and the car wasn't feeling very good, or the driver sucked, one of the two. Car seemed really tight into the corners, especially 1 and 2. I don't know, the track seemed really kind of wettish, slippery. So it wasn't like slick, as in dry slick, but it seemed kind of soupy-ish, but not, it wasn't like muddy. So it was just really hard. I hadn't seen a track like that before, obviously, in my limited racing on dirt. And I couldn't figure it out. I think the higher line was faster in the heat race, but I didn't figure that out until it was too late. So I started on the pole. I ended up finishing third, which kind of sucks. So either way, after that, we did something fun, I think it's fun. We did a pole race, but it was kind of like a pole race where the drivers pick somebody else. I'll explain it here. So the top two drivers from each heat race, which is why it sucks I finished third. So we had 3 heat races, top 2 drivers for each heat race, picked from the group of non-top 6 drivers that have never won a race at Brush Creek or with the series. So those top 6 drivers got to pick a driver that would represent them in the pole race. And wherever that driver that they pick finishes, that's where they start in the feature. So either way, so you kind of get the idea. The 6 drivers picking from this group of people to race for them in this 8-lap pole race. So first pick came out, and I was picked first. So that's cool. It's like on the playground where you're the first one picked for the game, But unfortunately, I was picked by Derek Minshew, who is arguably the fastest guy all year and has won most of the races all year, and is kind of like giving everybody their run for their money this year. So with that, either way, being the first pick meant that I got to start on the pole, and then everybody else subsequently picked. So wherever I finished in that pole race is where Derek starts in the feature. So you can kind of see the conundrum I'm under here, or I was under, and that is that I don't want Derek to start up front. But it's in my best interest, it's in the entire field's best interest for him to start 6th, which is the lowest that he can do. Well, the way for him to start 6th is for me to finish last in this pole race. So here I am starting on the pole. I'm a racer. I love to race. Don't want him to start on the pole. So, what are you going to do? But in best interests, I ran hard. I race. I'm a racer. I don't really like playing all the politics and all that kind of crap. So I ended up racing it and ended up winning. So that was fun. That was cool. I lost actually my side mirror, my left side mirror during our heat race. I think a dirt clog came up and shattered the mirror on it. So I didn't have an idea on where everybody else was at on the track. I didn't really have a good idea on how far back they were, so I ran pretty hard the whole race. But I ended up winning, so that was cool. Of course, that meant that Derek started on the pole in the feature. So for the feature race, they had the top 6 already lined up based upon that pole race, and then I started 7th, I think because I won the pole race. So either way, so I started 7th in the feature race. I didn't make any changes from the heat race or the pole race for the feature, and in the feature, I swear in the first lap, maybe lap and a half, I passed 3 cars. So I started on the bottom. I was doing pretty good. I kind of would hook the bottom on the side, get on the drier stuff, and it passed 3 cars. Bam, bam, bam. It was fantastic. So then I came up to a car, third place car, and was right there. And I still obviously figuring this stuff out, so I couldn't quite figure out how to get around him. And one of the cars behind me ended up passing me, put me back to 5th. And then we were racing, kind of like the 3 of us there for a little bit. And the guy who was in front of me ended up making a mistake, going off the track a little bit on the backstretch. He didn't lose it. It was kind of amazing that he kind of kept it going. But that gave me the window to where I was able to pass him, which put me back into 4th place. And turns out that there was like 2 laps to go or 3 laps to go. So the guy behind me, was right there, but I ended up finishing 4th. So started 7th, finished 4th. Again, I raced better in the feature than I did in the heat race. The car felt pretty good. I don't know what's going on. I need to get my crap together earlier in the night. So either way, one of the things that I've recognized is that every heat race, the car seems to feel like it's pushing a lot. And then in the feature, it feels great without any changes between the two. So one of the things that I'm going to try this upcoming week is I'm literally just going to loosen up the front end of the car with wedge before the heat race. And so I'm going to judge how much based upon how the car feels in hot laps. Probably not a good idea because the track changes quite a bit between hot laps and heat races. But I'm going to go at least a half a round up to a full round, loosening up the front end just for the heat race. And then for the feature, I'm going to take all that right back out and run it as I normally would. Hopefully, maybe that'll help me in the heat race to try to be a little bit better. We'll see. We'll see if that helps. It might make things worse, but you don't know until you try. One of the other changes that I'm going to look at doing, or I'm probably going to do, is I'm struggling with traction off the corner. It's probably a dirt race thing. Everybody struggles with that, trying to get more drive off the corner. But I don't know if it's because I'm loose off the corner. I don't know if it's because the driver's foot gets a little happy coming off the corner, or if there's things I can do on the setup to try to help that. So I've already maxed out my pinion angle. Well, not maxed out, but as high as I want to go. So I'm thinking that going into this race weekend, I might actually tighten the rear end up using wedge. And I'm thinking maybe half a round. I was thinking about doing a spring change, but I'm not really sure. I need to probably call some folks that are smarter than me to see what they think about a spring change versus wedge. So we'll see how that works out. It might not amount to anything, especially if it's driver foot error, but we'll see how that works out. So that'll be changing the front wedge before the heat race, but back before the feature, and changing the rear wedge to just tighten the car up a little bit for the entire night. So I'm going to do that before I get to the racetrack. Let's see, what other things. Another thing I noticed, don't know if this matters. US Legends says that it matters, but I don't know if it really matters in the speeds that we're going. But I've noticed that Derek, who's the guy that's won a lot of these races, leaves off his rear deck lid for all of the feature races. So I know US Legends rules say you can't do that. We're not sanctioned, so the rules are a little bit more loose. So I'm going to go ahead and just leave my rear deck lid off for all the races. Don't know how much of a difference that's really going to make, but you know, hey, it can't hurt, right? Other than that, we've got the Brush Creek race coming up this Saturday, so kind of first back-to-back races for us in a month or so. Should be fun, should be good. I think it's looking like it might be chances of rain. Hopefully that'll be moved out just a little bit, but I'm excited. I think it'll be fun. I've posted the video for the rear gear change. Again, I apologize for that video. I shot that. That was the third time I've shot that video, and every single time I screwed something up or I had dirt all over my face and it looked all weird, so I couldn't use the video. But normally I can do that rear gear change in about 15 minutes. This was the first time in the sedan that I'd done it this year, and I used to do that every single week. So I gotten pretty used to it. I've only done it once this year. But either way, I hope you guys enjoy it. Go ahead, check out that video. It'll you know, kind of give you insight into my thought process in changing gears and things like that. Feel free to leave comments at the end of that YouTube video as well. I am also working on a carburetor and jet change video. I've already taped all the video, but I need to edit it and get it all going. Those videos take a little bit longer to edit because they're just longer videos in and of themselves. So those will be coming up. If there's any other kind of follow along, again, I don't want to say how to, because you know, God forbid somebody follows what I do and screws something up because I don't know what I'm doing. So they're follow along videos. But if you have any other ideas for a follow along video, you know, whatever it may be, let me know. I thought about doing one of a race day, kind of just snippets throughout the race day of how things go and what I'm doing. But I don't know. So let me know what you guys think. And we will be at Brush Creek this Saturday. So, you know, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.